Hello and happy Monday to all of you sitting at your home watching these videos. I messed up a little bit on the lesson plans this week and assigned you work on Friday. But this Friday is Good Friday. We can't have any work on Good Friday, so disregard any work that I put on Friday. I'll move it to next Tuesday. It's not a big deal. So anyway, that's just an FYI for you. And I wanted to make note that it was Palm Sunday yesterday, and that's a pretty significant point in Christianity where Jesus has his triumphal entry into Jerusalem, and they are throwing palm leaves at his feet. You see, that was actually prophesied 400 years earlier. That's one of the miraculous things about the Bible, that there was a prophecy 400 years before, documented prophecy 400 years before, that said Jesus would do that thing. And if you don't believe me, you can go to the book of Zechariah, chapter 9, verse 9. And we're going to open the KJV one here. Rejoice greatly, Zion. Behold, your king is coming to you, lowly and riding on a donkey. One that had never been ridden before, a young donkey. Very cool. So anyway, we should talk about electricity before I get carried away with a Bible lesson or anything. We're on chapter 15.1 on electric current. Let's get right to it. Imagine life without electricity. Many of the conveniences we would enjoy would not be available to us. Wi-Fi, right? That'd be terrible. We wouldn't have our phones, our computers, etc. Electricity falls into two different categories. You have static or motionless electricity, stationary electricity, and current electricity, electricity that comes through motion. And there's additionally two different kinds of electricity as far as moving electricity goes. There's DC current and AC current, direct and alternating. You can see here how when you deal with direct current, there's a very specific flow from battery to the load or whatever it's powering, and then back to the battery again. And it flows like this. And alternating current, the source just kind of goes back and forth from the battery. Most electricity used in the US of A is alternating current because it flows with higher energy, and it flows in all directions. And we can see this because if you test your power outlet, you probably have two what we call hot prongs that you put into your power outlet, and maybe you have one at the bottom. It's a safety prong. But anyway, we'll talk more about those later. Voltage, current, and power. Now these all kind of sound the same, right? In fact, we probably use them the same, but they're a little bit different. And if I say you have 100 volts that hit your body, that's going to be a lot different than if we have 100 amps of current or 100 watts of power. What do all those things mean? Well, let's kind of go into these. The greater difference between electric charges is called voltage. So, what would be stronger? A charge of positive 5 and negative 5, or a charge of positive 2 and negative 2? Well, the greater difference is in 5, so there's a difference of 10 there, so it's going to have a higher voltage. The SI unit for voltage is the volt. Hard there. And it's measured with a voltmeter. Even easier, right? Specifically, the flow of electricity is called current. The SI unit for current is called the ampere, or the letter A in this case. Let's consider this diagram. I really like it. I actually took a picture of it out of your textbook because it helps me to understand voltage. So the current is the same in these top two images. There's still the same flow. You're getting the same amount of water. But voltage is kind of like pressure. So here there's not really all that much pressure. But here there is a whole lot of pressure coming out. You ever do that to your sibling where you take the hose and you kind of put your finger on it and all of a sudden it becomes a lethal weapon, right? Anyways, that's kind of the difference between voltage and current. Voltage is kind of similar to pressure there, whereas current deals with the flow. Consider the pressure. The water is moving at the same pressure in both of these images, but at the bottom image there's a whole lot more flow of water. There's a whole lot more water there, a lot more current. That helps us to understand the difference between voltage and current. And consider this analogy to further solidify your understanding. You have a AA battery. AA batteries are 1.5 volts. Your battery is a 12-volt battery. So does that mean that you can wire 8 AA batteries and start your car? It does not. It doesn't have a chance. It wouldn't even begin to start your car. You wouldn't even hear a tick. Well, why? That's technically 1.5 times 8 is 12 volts. Well, in this case, the voltage deals with the pressure at which the energy flows out. But it doesn't nearly have enough energy. It doesn't have hardly enough current to get your car started. There's very little current in these AA batteries. That's a good thing. If I was powering my, let's say, my old Game Boy with these batteries, I wouldn't want there to be a ton of current, right? It would fry my Game Boy. That'd be terrible. Now we don't have to use batteries to power our Game Boys. So, different times, right? Power is measured in watts. A watt is equal to voltage multiplied by current. Or we could say power is voltage times current. Consider a 50-watt light bulb. So a 50-watt light bulb, I have a 50-watt light bulb here in this lamp. Right, pretty bright. But you can buy a 100-watt light bulb. You can buy a 25-watt light bulb, 40-watt, 200-watt. A 50-watt light bulb probably has somewhere around 10 volts and 5 amps to function. A kilowatt hour is how many watts are used in an hour. So for instance, a 50-watt light bulb uses 0.5 kilowatts per hour. That's how we get the word watt, is how much energy it uses. And because a kilo is 1,000, a kilowatt is 1/1000th of a watt. So how many 50-watt light bulbs must be on to use 1 kilowatt per hour? You'd need to use 20. Well, how'd you get that? Because, let me see if I can get my pointer here. Because if one light bulb is 0.05, whoop, I messed up. What am I doing? Disregard that. There, kilowatts in an hour. Then 20 times 0.05 would be 1 kilowatt hour. And this is kind of electrician speak. And I am no electrician. Funny thing, I worked as an electrician, believe it or not. An electrician's apprentice. I worked for half a year. I didn't like it. I don't like things that can kill me. So, I installed some wiring and stuff like that. I didn't like any of it. I much enjoyed being a roofer. That I could control. I could control whether or not I fell off the roof. I couldn't control an arc blast from happening, so... Anyway. Remember, conductors allow electricity to move freely. Insulators do not allow electrical flow. There's another part to this madness, along with watts, amps, and volts, and that's resistance. It's measured in ohms, and is measured by that omega symbol, which looks like a horseshoe. Resistance can cause heat buildup called joule heat. Think about a computer cord. Computer cords get warm, right? So you have a lot of volts, a lot of current flowing towards the computer, heats things up. And right now I'm recording on my Mac, and my Mac is kind of warm. Well, why? Because it's been on for a little while. I've been recording lessons. And when electricity moves, it warms things up. It's a problem and a blessing. Because we can use this in different varieties. Sometimes we want joule heat to happen, so we add a lot of resistance. Consider a space heater. Okay, space heaters work because they have specialized mechanisms for causing resistance buildup. It's like it's trying to be unpractical, right? Normally, if you have a computer, you'd want it not to overheat. But in this case, it's like a space heater's like, all right, I'm adding all this resistance just to heat up as much as possible, and then I have a little fan to blow it out into the room. And all it uses is electricity and certain loads for resistance. Very simple device. Toaster's the same thing. Iron, same idea. So, anyway, resistance to flow is measured in ohms. Everything that has power has resistance. A light bulb has resistance. Why? Because you have power coming through here. The power hits the load. The load produces heat and light. Therefore, it has resistance. It is a resistor. And the wire, the resistance is very low. There's not really anything that wants the electricity that's going through there. But the light bulb wants it. The light bulb uses the power and then keeps it going. So, last kind of idea here is a superconductor. Superconductor is a material that allows flow with no resistance at all. It is such a good conductor that it conducts perfectly. Well, there are very few things that does this. Remember, silver is the best conductor that we know of, and usually we use conductors like copper. It's because it's a lot cheaper than silver. That's why we use copper wiring in our houses. At least I hope your house uses copper wiring. If your house has silver wiring, please invite me over. I'd like to see your house. But anyways, these superconductors are very rare. They only happen at very high temperatures, which allow for the free flow of electrons through a material. For practical purposes, they're very they're just not very useful. Sure, it would save on your energy bill to have perfect flow of electricity at your house. Your house would also have to be like 200 degrees. And it's already pretty bad in Florida, so we're not going to make it worse. And last slide, I got to move fast because I only have 15 minutes to record. Resistors add resistance. Many resistors are called rheostats. They're resistors adjusted using a knob. So your fan does this, right? So you have a fan that has a rheostat as a knob, but you can use at different powers. And the highest power spins the fan the fastest. Resistors can change the flow of electrical current. This current moves through the simplest and easiest electrical path. Sometimes the load, where it's introduced, changes what the electric current does. For instance, the load may change electricity into motion. Make sure you get done your section reviews, and maybe on the next video I'll come back to that. Alright, wow, 15 minutes, perfect. I'll see you.